Hey guys, Joseph from Wayward City Games, followed by with Jeff.
Hey guys, Joe, what do you have for us in your grand debut here at WaywardCityGames.com?
You guys know what it is. It's the only thing I've played ever. It's Grandis.
You're the Green Guru, the Green Goblin, man.
That's a fun deck, man. It's a fun deck.
Grandis is an outstanding deck, and I would love to see your take on it. We've been trying to get you in here. Very excited now that you were part of the team. Let's get this going.
Awesome. So actually, thanks to Jesse, the whole deck changed, and it actually did really well. So we're still going to be running the normal egg split, except instead of going with just 4 and sticking with 4, we're actually running a 5th, which came up a ton.
It did, really.
Yesterday was Sword Champs also.
That definitely helps.
So, it actually, the drawing one won probably more games than it lost for me yesterday, which is really impressive. So we are sticking with 5 eggs.
That's awesome. Okay.
We are going with most of the traditional Grandis stuff. So this is from BT10, and with this coming into the deck, the whole deck changes, but it allows us to do this for free. So we can actually Digivolve for 0 like everyone else now. We never got to Digivolve for 0 until BT10.
Well,
so,
that's great, right? Because what is Grandis' weakness sometimes?
Drawing,
right?
Drawing.
And that fixes
and
that.
cost, actually.
Yeah. So that not only that searches when you're outside the raising area, right? Or if you're just in the raising area and you're trying to do like all the other X antibody decks, you just Digivolve and you got an extra card there.
It's pretty awesome. It searches almost everything in the deck too, except the next couple of cards, which are Carriers and Pomumons, which are kind of self-explanatory. They turn off most of the decks in the format, and if they don't, they Digivolve for 0. So you can't really complain if you're grinding out or if you are bricking up.
Yeah. No, I love those. I think those are perfect level 3s for the deck for sure.
That's all the level 3s.
So you don't really need the Palmon with jamming anymore? Is that kind of grown out?
So. Well, the meta, the biggest thing in the meta right now, and that's obviously we're talking about in a couple of days with the ban list, but the biggest thing in the meta is 15, and it's just GX, right?
Absolutely.
Nothing is bigger than just GX. So Grandis will always be bigger than anything.
That makes so much sense.
You don't really need jamming anymore. Sometimes it sucks if you're running into yellow and you get DP reduced. That does come up, but it doesn't come up as often as you would expect anymore. For 4s, we run the Weedmon because it's still efficiency with the 1s, and it follows the Digiburst mantra pretty well. We're running the Kabuteru blockers. And then to continue with the new stuff, going back in the Kokuamon, we're just running more stuff that's when you delete something and survives, you gain a memory.
That makes a lot of sense.
It comes up a lot. You Digivolve on a Bricked Hand into Grandis from your level 5, and you swing into something for +3.
I love that all your level 4s are only 1 evos.
Except this guy.
I spoke too soon.
And I actually still think I'm cutting this guy just for a Stingmon, because the hybrid doesn't come up as much as it did before. And when it does now, it comes up as a level 4, the only level 4 in your hand. And it Digivolves for 3, which feels worse than anything else. So, this will probably end up being a Stingmon, but right now, it's still hybrid. It's still a hybrid game. But that's the force. And then for the 5s, we are also fairly and slightly standard. We have the Akuamon promos. We have the BT1 Akuamon, which does the same thing as Sting and Koku, except it doesn't have once per turn.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't realize that.
Under Grandis, it comes up, you gain 2-3 memory depending on how you're swinging. And then the X antibody split is the same as we did before. So there's nothing too crazy going on here.
Do you like that 9th level 5? I feel like I do personally. I was just wondering what your personal opinion was on the 9th level 5.
It's a little tough to not justify.
Yeah.
But when you don't have a Mimi out, because when we get further into the deck, we're seeing what's going on. But when we don't have a Mimi out, Digivolving into Promo Akuamon really hurt. Because you're passing the turn on Akuamon. If it's not in your raising area, all it's going to do is get destroyed. Whether it's DP from Gallantmon, spinbacks from Jess, all that types of stuff, right? It's just in a cool on board. It doesn't feel good. But the reason why the beat is good is for 2.
I know that 2-cost Evo is awesome.
It's all about efficiency. And when we go into 6s, it's going to be the same thing as we've done since BT9 started, and it's just, that's not the card.
Spoiler alert.
The 4/4, it's, some people don't like it, some people go 4/3, some people go 3/3.
Yeah. All of the best decks I've seen run 4/4, and that's probably why I'm not nearly as good as Grandis as you are, because I always want to do 4/3, you know? So I think that's right.
Well, if you were to go 4/3, let me tell you what I would do. I would actually do that.
I think that's how I do it too.
Because Grandis counts as X antibody.
Yep.
We do run a 1 of, possibly a 2 of option. So going into Grandis instead of Grand feels way better.
Well, Grandis is good for that, board control. I know it's not a board control deck, right? But just in case you have to.
Just in case. And Grandis is the one doing multi-swings. So when you have your stacks where you're gaining memory off of attacks and deleting things, you want to be doing it with it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be doing it with it.
Absolutely.
Piercing because of a Coolmon promo, you're swinging at 11 if you didn't Digiburst. It just doesn't...
Yeah, makes total sense.
Doesn't feel good. Then the spoiler, the Merciful.
Love it.
I get to delete 2 guys every time.
Yeah.
And if I don't delete 2 guys, I'm still deleting 1 dude every time. And for 6, a lot of the times, it doesn't really matter. Because when you use Merciful mode, it's either from when you're incredibly behind or you start with a non-security attack plus, like when you're not OTKing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, well, you can't search it. You brick on it. Everyone complains about it. You don't get to OTK with a proper stack, and you end on this. You clear their whole board, and you say you don't got no security. You don't care about the trashing of their security.
Yeah.
You just say you now officially have 6 memory to start over, and I'm winning next.
Absolutely.
It's a good card. It's one of the best enders this deck could have got.
Well, what's great about this Merciful mode, we were talking about this all night last night. We got Jesse here in the studio as well. Yep. Against Machine Dramon, against Jessmon with all the sisters and trash, you're talking about future sets with EX3 right around the corner. D Brigade, we're talking Imperial Dramon Purple Red. All of their trash is going to go away. I always forget about that personally, right? And it's like such a huge disruptor for all of those types of decks. So it makes a lot of sense in your deck.
Well, with Shoutmon getting hit, we have to think about some decks that fell apart to Shoutmon before. Beelstar you're going to see coming back a lot more, and this spins 10 cards back from the trash. So...
Get rid of all their Beelstars bottom of the deck. That's just,
just the Beelstars? I don't want to see them anymore.
Yeah.
We still got, how many cards is there? We still got 6 cards.
6 cards left. Okay.
They're a little different. We're only playing 2 Mimi.
I like it.
We're playing OTK, so the plan is to not get Death X'd, because Death X, when you lose your top end pieces at your top end, you don't get to go into mid game.
Yeah.
So running less Mimis actually gives you the ability to make them pay for their Death X every. Because what'll happen is you'll have 1 stack, maybe you'll have a level 3 Terrier or a Pomu out, and you'll have 1 Mimi. You want to do the math and tell me how much Death X is coming out for when you're not running?
They still have to be at like 4
Tamers.
4 memory at least to hard play the Death X.
So we're only running the 2 Mimi, we're only running 2 Tamers, but that gave us the ability to run speed stuff. So we're running 3 green boosts, possibly a 4th green boost actually with the way yesterday.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mimi comes up a lot, and Mimi's awesome, but Mimi is not the way this deck.
No, absolutely not.
This deck wins by pressure, and then just telling your opponent no on the 1 turn you give them. You don't have to OTK them, you just have to grind them out really hard. So we want speed, which is why the last card is X Antibody.
Only 1?
Yep, only 1.
I like it.
We're not running any removal.
I think that's the right call, man. I mean, because like if you're gonna try to play defensively, that deck's not gonna win. That's not what that deck does. No.
So. And the thing with running it fast is there's a couple of things you could do instead. We're running, I think the math was 14, 11, 9, 8, 1 for Digimon, I think.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, you can cut 1 back on each. I'm running 1-ofs in almost all the slots. You might not like Pomamon as much as Terriermon, so you could cut 1 rookie. You might cut the hybrid. You might, there's a lot of cards you could cut from this.
I don't know, man. I really like your consistency. That's what the strength of the deck is going to be.
But this format, you could run Flower Cannon and 2 cards removal for Flower Cannon.
Yeah.
Nothing's a blocker this format. Everything's going wide.
Yeah.
It's not a kill spell.
You can run Grandel Soul if you want. You can run Grand Fang. You were even trying the Electroshocker. That was an awesome card when you were messing with that.
Electroshocker feels better than Grandel Soul because it costs 1 less optimally.
Yeah.
You're not suspending anything, which does kind of inhibit the card. But to get Grandel Soul, you have to be playing 2 Digimon. And kind of like I said, we're playing OTK.
Yeah,
the only time
you don't
want to. I have a Terrier out or a blocker out, and then I have my Grandis.
Makes perfect sense. Why would you take away from that?
So, and they both have to be suspended. I'm never going to swing with Pomu unless I'm winning, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, Electroshockers, Flower Cannons, if you feel like your meta is slightly less safe to not play options, and at that point, the easiest cards to cut would be the Akumon, because it comes up, but it comes up a little less.
Yeah.
And then your hybrid. Because
that makes a lot of sense.
Being down on Mimis, you want to see the Mimis, you don't want to get rid of the Mimis. So, these 2 cards could be options if you wanted them to. Yeah. It's been fun. Testing with it's been fun. Been playing it since BT9.
I really like that Stingmon inclusion on the level 4s. I know we're past level 4s, but it's an insect, and so it's searchable by all of your search of the deck.
Everything in the deck now except this is now. Well, actually, I lied to you.
I mean, obviously Merciful Mode and the Tamers and
the Pomu and the Terrier.
Yeah.
But all of my level 4s and 5s.
Your main core pieces to win. Yeah.
And it was hard for a while because we weren't doing it that way. We were running Weedmons and we were running Palmons and we were running Lalamons and we were... What were we doing? We were trying Lilamons when it was too hard to find Akumon promos. And it's... it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. No, everything's Insectoid, as it should be.
I love it.
And this is it. The deck.
I love it.
I don't know what I'd change with it. It's kind of like my baby at this point. I've been playing it for 5 months, so I don't... It's beautiful.
Consistency is key, right?
It's